and crime mob stole Mistress Claressa Shields' moment, but who is shocked that she finally knocked out a 40-plus-year-old? Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. So, today we are talking Claressa Shields, surprise, surprise, aka Pap's Mistress, aka Pap's Entanglement, aka Pap's Pick Me, aka Pap's Side Chick, or as Chris Cyborg would say, it is duck hunting season. So before we get into my thoughts on the fight, because again, I'm no hater. Congrats, Claressa, for winning a fight you should have won and finally knocking out K. Scott in 6 rounds. It should have been done within the first 2. Even Floyd Mayweather was looking like, what in the HELL is taking so long for this knockout and all of the things. But ultimately, we got to get to the drama that took place before, because I'm not going to assume that all of y'all got DAZN and y'all saw everything that took place and y'all saw everything that happened. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, I had other means of watching DAZN that was not on the YouTube, that was not on any other links, but was available to me via my Fire Stick. But that's a whole nother conversation. So anyways, K. Scott comes out, you guys, to Ludacris's Get Back. And the crowd went crazy. The crowd was scared at first because they were like, wait a minute, this is my song, this is my jam, but I'm technically here for Claressa, right? But the crowd was feeling it because, listen, Luda is an Atlanta legend. An Atlanta legend. And this is what I was talking about with Claressa. She should have chose a big name for Atlanta. You had T.I., you had Crime Mob, you had Outkast, you had all these people. That crowd was begging you, you know what I'm saying, to put a big name on your back so that they could go crazy for you for your ring walkout. And I felt Claressa Shields made the wrong decision in selecting fellow Mistress Latto to do the ring walk. I didn't see 21 Savage there as expected because he's a married man and all the things. But anyways, then we get to Claressa's ring walk, you guys. We get to Claressa's ring walk, and there is like hundreds of people in that small ASS tunnel. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever been to these NBA games or concerts or sporting events at these arenas, but the number of people that was there, just crowding Claressa between, there was a drum line, there was Latto, there was all the security, there was Zeus Network, there was the Win Records team, all in red, and then just all these people to the point that Claressa couldn't even come out at first, and it was a hot mess express. It was an absolute hot mess express. It was like everybody was there to say, listen, look at here, I gotta get my check too. I gotta get my check too. I gotta get my payday too from Claressa. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was giving. That is what it was giving. Eventually, Latto had to fall to the back, you guys, because Claressa had to make sure that Whoop That Trick was played first. And all the things. You know what I'm saying? And then as Claressa's doing the ring walk, Latto comes forward. I'm not going to hold you. I don't even know the song that she performed. This is why I'm saying y'all got mad at me when I told y'all I'm not really that familiar with Latto. The only thing I know is just that phrase, Big Mama, or whatever else. But I couldn't tell you her songs. And the only other thing, I just knew that clip of the song off her new album where she is shouting out Claressa, but calling Pap a pap smear. No. And speaking of Pap, why did he look like he was trying to avoid checking out Latto as she was performing? I saw you, Pap. I saw you, Pap. You were trying so hard to look like you were not checking her out. But the eyes did not lie. You know what I'm saying? The facial expressions do not lie when you take off those shades, Pap. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it was giving. I saw you. You were trying so hard not to pay attention to Latto. I saw it with my own eyes, y'all. I saw it with my own eyes. So ultimately, we get to the ring and everything else, and child, it's like 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. We get to the singing of Lift Every Voice and Sing, aka the Black National Anthem of Johnny Blaze. I didn't like Johnny Blaze's hairstyle. She sounded a little bit nervous at first, but then she came through with the vocals at the end and everything else, and then the crowd was cheering for her. Now, here was the problem, right? Here was the issue, right? We never got an announcement for who was going to sing the national anthem. See, what happened was back in Detroit, back in Michigan, back in February, was Kelly Price was originally slated to perform the national anthem. That was the original announcement. And there was a Wind Records artist that was performing Lift Every Voice and Sing, right? However, I guess right before everything happened, the lady for Wind Records found out last minute that she also was going to be the second person of the night performing Lift Every Voice and Sing. After her performance, Kelly Price was going to do the same thing. No. So I thought the lady sounded great, and then Kelly Price sang like one or two stanzas of the national anthem and then transitioned into Lift Every Voice and Sing again. No. So tonight, we have Johnny Blaze sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. They announced, because I don't know what happened. I don't know if Atlanta or even Claressa wasn't expecting anybody to perform the national anthem, but the girl came out. I think her name was Molly. And poor girl, poor thing. She was not ready for prime time. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, Atlanta booed the H-E-double-L out of her. Even they panned the camera to Usher, and Usher was looking like, what in the H-E-double-L? What in the H-E-double-L? I know my city is not acting like this. So I couldn't tell. And people from Atlanta, y'all got to let me know, were you booing the national anthem or booing the singer that was performing the national anthem? Or was it because you didn't know who she was or whatever the case may be, or you didn't like the girl you were booing? I just need clarification in the comments why we were booing her. Were we booing her because of the state of the country? Were we booing her because how do you go from Johnny Blaze to her? But because the money ran out. The money went to Johnny Blaze and Lotto. You know what I'm saying? And it went to Floyd Mayweather, Kevin Gates. It went to all of the star-studded people that y'all saw. So there was no money left for the performer of the national anthem. Oh, you thought there was going to be a heavy hitter? So did I. So did I. But unfortunately, there was not. Now, what happened was eventually throughout the national anthem, those boos turned to cheers because I think some people realized and bought a clue that, this is not how we want Atlanta to be looking out here for the first fight representing a female boxer and everything else. We don't want that to be, but child, that they were panning to, the people that don't, look like us, and they were shook. They were completely and utterly shook, like what is happening? Because y'all are the same ones, just at the NBA Finals, just at the NFL games, just at all these other sporting events. Y'all don't got that same energy. Y'all don't got that same energy at these other sporting events for the national anthem. And also, I want to say as well, they performed the Australian national anthem or whatever the case may be for K. Scott and everything else. And y'all were respectful during that. Y'all were respectful during that, and y'all were getting disrespectful with the national anthem. And again, I just need clarification. Is it due to the state of our country, or is it due to, y'all didn't like the girl that performed? Is what I want to know, right? And so ultimately we get into the fight, guys. And like I said in the beginning, the first couple of rounds, it was kind of a nothing burger for me. You know what I'm saying? I thought Claressa Shields was going to come out with the energy, try her best to get a knockout within the first couple of rounds. And it was funny because I believe by like round 2 or round 3, Ruben kept trying to talk to Floyd Mayweather during the fight. And this is what I'm saying, Claressa, these people don't really like you the way that you think. They just see you as a cash cow. Because how is it that you are supposed to be watching your client out here fighting and paying attention and everything, and you're too busy trying to suck up to Floyd Mayweather? You're too busy trying to talk business or whatever the case may be with Floyd Mayweather. Even Floyd was like, listen, man, I'm trying to see this fight. Even Floyd was trying to be like, listen, look at here, I'm trying to watch this fight. He's trying to put up his arms like, wait a second, hold on, all of the things. And it eventually clocked for Ruben to shut the F up. It eventually clocked for Ruben to stop trying to distract me with conversation right now. Y'all paid me all this money to be here for both the weigh-in and the fight. I'm going to do my due diligence. You know what I'm saying? I already showed y'all, you know what I'm saying? Me and Terrence Crawford, you know what I'm saying, had a good exchange and everything else. Like, can you leave me alone? Then there was a lot of shots with Portia and Sway, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately, there was somebody behind Portia that was cracking her up and talking her head off during the undercard fights. And then there were a couple of times that Portia stood up to record the fight and all of the things. Then you guys, it didn't get interesting, honestly, until like around round 5. And round 5 is when Kay Scott remembered that she actually was a professional fighter. Kay Scott remembered actually that she is in a fight right now, and this is not training, this is not sparring, she's not in no Australia. There were a few times where, you know, the crowd was chanting, "Whoop that trick," very loud, you know what I'm saying? But even the crowd got a little bit concerned for Claressa, because there was a moment in round 5 where Claressa was kind of backed into a corner and Kay Scott was getting her jabs in, and I believe Claressa was letting her, but because then by the end of that round, Claressa was fighting back. Now, here's why I think the knockout happened in round 6 and potentially wouldn't have happened until later, is because they decided at the conclusion of round 5 to play Crime Mob's Knuck If You Buck. And not just play Crime Mob's Knuck If You Buck, but specifically play Princess's Virtual. And I think that unleashed something with Claressa Shields. I think that unleashed something with Claressa Shields, because I think the spirit of her blocking Princess and not allowing her to perform the ring walk, as well as Remy Ma dropping that diss record with the Knuck If You Buck beat as well, that unleashed something in Claressa. But that could have been unleashed had Crime Mob did the ring walk for you. Had you allowed Princess to do the verse for the ring walk. The difference in how loud that crowd was when they heard Knuck If You Buck, that is why I said Claressa made the wrong move selecting Lotto. The energy that crowd had for Knuck If You Buck, and even when the song was over and they were about to start round 6, the crowd was still rapping the rest of Princess's verse. You can't replicate that type of energy, Claressa. Y'all made the wrong move. You were so excited for Lotto to shout you out, you missed the mark choosing the wrong Atlanta artist. You could have had Usher right. Usher was right there. You know what I'm saying? You could have had Usher perform, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Get the crowd going. You could have had Ludacris there. You know what I'm saying? Outkast, T.I. Everybody was right there. Everybody was right there. Or maybe you couldn't afford them. Maybe you couldn't afford them, but you could have afforded Princess. And you paid her dust 2 years in a row that she wanted to, you know what I'm saying, perform your ring walk, and you paid her dust, and Remy picked up the track. So I think the spirit of all of that going on and her obsession and one-sided beef with Remy Ma, then she decided to take it out on Kay Scott round 6, right? And so then there were a couple of jabs that happened to where Kay Scott had fumbled back, you know what I'm saying? And then it looked like Kay Scott was still trying to continue again, but then, you know, she still ultimately got knocked out, right? And then people were throwing towels into the ring, and that was a wrap in round 6 of 10, you guys. But again, nobody should be shocked that Claressa Shields won this fight. And not only that, nobody should be shocked that Claressa Shields knocked out somebody who already has previously had a hematoma and has previously already had an injury. They tried to explain away the reason why Kay Scott started fighting so late, because it was banned in her country until 2009. And then she wasn't allowed to, you know what I'm saying, fight amateur or whatever else anymore at her current age. And that is the only reason why she turned professional and all this and all that. But Kay Scott, you need more work. You just need to stick to OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? You need to get some more training. But Claressa, you got nobody to blame but yourself, because this is what happens when you slap Alicia Baumgartner at a Netflix VIP MMA event. You know what I'm saying? You could have had better opponents. And so what has happened as well is, you know, they announced that Claressa obviously won by knockout and all this and all that. She gets belts 20 and 21. So they interview Claressa Shields. And here's the thing. Can Pap get out of the frame? Can Pap get out of the camera? I was very disgusted and very disturbed of how much in the camera and in the face he was of the interviewer to make sure that he was in the frame of the shot. And this is why, Claressa, I said, Pap is all up in the video. Pap is all up in the video. He is all up in the mix. Why can't you have your moment? Why can't you have your moment? And then it was interesting because the WBC was trying to get Claressa to put on their hat, and she said, not too much. Give it to one of the Win Records ladies in red. I'll just take the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot of stuff going on inside that ring after the fight was over. And here goes fake ASS Lotto, like what Cardi B called her. Now, all of a sudden, because Claressa won, you want a clout chase. No. You have been paying Claressa dust. You know what I'm saying? You eventually followed her. You eventually reposted that you were going to be performing the ring walk a whole week later. You know what I mean? And Neil, all of a sudden, you want to act like, you know what I'm saying? You're a friend of Claressa's and doing all the nonsense. Where's 21 Savage? Home with his wife. Anyways, so Pap is all up in the videos, and then we got Claressa lying in the interview. So she's thanking God, right? She's been saying all week that she's trained for 12 weeks and that she lost 30 pounds. Now, all of a sudden, magically, she has been training for 14 weeks and has lost 40 pounds. And I was like, wait, what? And then she's really trying to sell that training camp was so hard. And I'm trying to find, you know what I'm saying, a bridge to sell y'all, because it's giving that it was not hard at all. It is giving that you are still trying to make fetch happen and make it seem like Kay was a formidable opponent. And we're just not going to lie out here. We are just not going to lie out here. So Claressa is talking about her strategy. She reveals that the reason why she had on a brace was because she sprained her knee a couple of weeks ago, and all of this and all of that. So they confirmed to Claressa that it was 16,000 people. Allegedly, that was at that fight. So not the 18,000 that Claressa has been yapping about for the past couple of weeks and all this and all that. But Claressa was excited for the crowd. Now, I'm not going to hold you. The crowd was excited for Claressa. I'm not going to take that away, just like I'm not going to take Claressa winning away. The crowd was feeling Claressa. The crowd, but Claressa, this is what I'm saying. This is what the people are saying. When you focus on the boxing, this is where the support is going to come in for you. When you focus on the nonsense, which is you sleeping with a married man and you sleeping with Remy's husband and you taking all these jabs at Remy and at Alicia Baumgartner, at Layla Ali, that's where you lose the people. That is where you lose the people. But you think that it's all engagement, that it's all trash talking, that it's all this, that it's all that, but the people are tired. The people are tired and the people are sick of it. Just focus on the boxing of it all. But you like to take things to the next level once it involves Pap, but I needed Pap to get out of the frame. So ultimately, Claressa said that ATL is about black excellence, and you know, there's rumors they had announced before Claressa's fight that allegedly there was negotiations with Lauren Price to be the next opponent, and ultimately they asked Claressa about it. So Claressa decided to pivot that question and mention Tam Tabu, sorry if I'm butchering your name, Michaela Mayer, as well as Lauren Price, is her potential next opponent as well. And she also wanted to thank the fans and thank the people who traveled from Michigan, and also anybody who had to book flights or stay at hotels and everything else to come to the fight. So when the cameras are actually on for real, and it's time for Claressa to do her PR stuff, she's not talking about the haters. She's not talking about a married man. She's not up here throwing shots, you know what I'm saying, and everything else. She knows how to conduct herself when it is appropriate for her, when it's the spotlight for her, when she's trying to make it look good. And ultimately, the sponsors of this fight, of course, were OnlyFans, were Win Records, and all of the things. Now, Claressa this time around did thank Pap and did thank Win Records, did thank Zeus Network, and everything else, and Salida Promotions. However, I noticed when Claressa, remember she was requesting the sponsors? Remember she was requesting if you could put a patch on Claressa's outfit for tonight? So I noticed a couple of things. So there was 2 Win Records patches. There was one in her brassiere, her sports bra, right? There was a Win Records patch there. There was a second Win Records patch on her skirt, right? On her skirt that she had on. Then there, of course, was a patch for Zeus Network, right? Because they're doing the sponsoring, right? But then there was another patch that I've got to find out if this is legitimate or not, or a manifestation, but it said powerful divorce. Powerful divorce. Is that the name of a company? Is that the name of an attorney's office? Or is that what you were trying to manifest for your married man to do, which is finalize that divorce from Remy? But I am telling you, this divorce would have been over yesterday. This divorce would have been over a couple of years ago. This divorce would have been over a long time ago had Pap signed the papers in which it says, hey, Remy's not giving you a dime and you're not going to get a dime from Remy. All you got to do is sign and you could be free with Claressa. And Pap said no. Pap said no. But has more time for a phony baloney cease and desist, has more time to get a teeny weeny Claressa cat tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Her face is nowhere to be found on there. It doesn't say quote, doesn't say Claressa Shields. You know what I'm saying? It's an easy cover up. It is an easy thing to laser off once this scam is over. And so then after this, they interviewed Dimitri of Salida Promotions of his thoughts, and Pap is still right there all up in the frame. All up in the frame, all up in the lights, camera, action. And I was really disgusted. I was really disgusted because I'm like, Pap, what did you do? What did you do? What did you contribute that you feel that this needs to be about you? Heck, I would feel like, you know what I'm saying? Lemmy deserved to be there more than you if they were the actual sponsors. You know what I'm saying? Because what were you sponsoring, Pap? Where's your money at? Because I know Claressa paid for that outfit y'all had on. I know she paid for all of that. So why are you all up in the video to make it seem like you're the motion? No. I was really disgusted with that. I just couldn't take it. You know what I'm saying? But that was that on that. So then after that, you guys, why did they premiere Claressa's video? And they were also, so they were playing Claressa's song after the fight was over at the conclusion. And also, why were they playing? They played the music video on DAZN. And I was recording at the time that the video was playing, so I didn't even have time to watch it. It was sitting on mute. It was sitting on mute because I did not care. But those are my initial thoughts. I want to hear from y'all in the comments. What did y'all think? What did y'all think of the snafu of the ring walk situation with Claressa? What did you think of K. Scott's song choice of Ludacris of Get Back? I thought it was excellent. What did you think of the drama with the national anthem and the booing? Do you think they were booing the singer or they were booing due to the state of our country? What do you think of it taking Claressa 6 rounds to knock out K. Scott and everything else, and now wanting to reveal that she allegedly had a sprained knee for the past couple of weeks, you guys? I think the knockout should have happened by round 2. I do not think that this should have went 6 rounds. Claressa was playing and up here talking about she was trying to fill out K. Scott. What was there to fill out? She only has 7 professional fights. I think Claressa was trying to drag this out to not make it seem as obvious as it was going to be that she was obviously going to win. Like, what are we doing? But I was looking at Floyd's face, and Floyd was like, why is it taking so long for her to knock, old girl out? Like, this girl is no competition. And that's my whole thing. I wanted to see Claressa fight some actual formidable opponents that is going to give Claressa more of a fight. And I feel like Franchon Cruz with a bum knee, with a bum ankle, with all the stuff she had going on after she was pushed at the melee at the weigh-in back in February, I felt she gave more fight in the first few rounds. She just ran out of breath and, you know what I'm saying, and ran out of, the energy and everything else as the time went on. But I felt like K. Scott, like, she's just no match. And even the announcers were shocked that it took so long for Claressa to knock her out. So those are my initial thoughts, you guys, on the fight. I want to hear from y'all in the comments. I want to know what y'all think. I need y'all to unleash. I need y'all to do me the biggest favor, and that is to hype the video. Hype the video, please. Hype the video like you never hyped a video before in your life. There is that. That is it. That is all. Es todos, es final, es finito. Is he in the road? Is he in the line for this video? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.